Argentina, an armed individual who allegedly attempted on the life of Vice President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner has been arrested. The supporters of the approval and rejection of the new constitution are holding their campaign closing events this Thursday ahead of the constitutional plebiscite next Sunday, September 4th. The Caribbean Community CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett said on Thursday that there is a need to strengthen and streamline the infrastructure to support the trade between Africa and CARICOM. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrera from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the news. Stay with us. In Argentina, an armed individual who allegedly attempted on the life of Vice President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner has been arrested. The event took place within the framework of the vigil held by Fernandez supporters in the vicinity of her residence against the political and judicial persecution against her. The event, which was recorded live on local media, took place after the 8 p.m. local time when Fernandez was returning from the presidency over the Assembly session. The vice president approached her supporters when an individual among the crowd pointed a gun at her before being survived by those present and the leader's personal guard. The suspect is already in police custody and was carrying a .22 caliber Versat handgun. He has been identified as a 35-year-old Fernando Andrés Zapata Montiel. The blog of deputies and representative of Argentina repudiated in a communique the attempt on the life of Vice President of the nation, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, and urged politicians, the media, and people in general to condemn the attempt on the life of the Vice President of the nation, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner. In this regard, the Vice President's lawyer, Gregorio Baldon, said the attack the Vice President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner will won't stop until we know who it was. Former Bolivia's President Evo Morales condemned on Twitter the assassination attempt on Argentina's Vice President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner. We condemn the cowardly assassination attempt against our sister Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner. All our solidarity to the Vice President. The great homeland is with you, sister. The criminal and severe right to imperialism will not pass. The free and worthy people of Argentina defeat her. The Executive Secretary of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America's People Treaty, Albatisipi Sacha Llorenti, also condemned the assassination attempt on his Twitter account, where he wrote, "We are dismayed by the attempt assassination to the Vice President of Argentina, Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner. We condemn all and repudiate these terrible events and express our solidarity with her family, and the Argentine people. Hate will not win." Cuba's President Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermúdez also joined the voices of the condemnation of the assassination attempt on the Argentina's Vice President on his Twitter account. From Cuba, dismayed by the attempt assassination of Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, we convey all our solidarity to the Vice President, the government, and the Argentine people. Also, Venezuela's President Nicolás Maduro also condemned the assassination attempt, reading on his Twitter account, "We send our solidarity to the Vice President of Argentina in the face of the attempt in her life. We strongly repudiate these actions that seeks to destabilize the peace of the broader Argentine people. The great homeland is with you, companions." The Minister of People's Powers for Foreign Relations of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Carlos Farias, condemned in his Twitter account the assassination attempts the Vice President of Argentina. The official rejected the act of violence and expressed his solidarity with brave Cristina. Supporters of the approval and rejection of the new constitution are holding their campaign closing events this Thursday ahead of the constitutional plebiscite next Sunday, September the 4th. The approve and reject option will be able to publicly expose their campaign before the electoral ban goes into effect this Friday. The campaign has been developed with a lot of information, but also with misrepresentation on the proposal of the new Magna Carta by conservative sectors, as social organizations has manifested. The plebiscite is developed as a consequence of the demands and the social support of 2019, which saw the establishment of a political chapter with greater social rights. In this regard, citizens expressed their opinion on the approval of the Constitution.
I approve. My family all approve. Because I hope that everything will be better for my grandchildren. I believe that Chile must change. We must change.
I was exiled in the largest and most beautiful country in the world, which is Venezuela. I was silenced for 20 years by the dictatorship of Pinochet, and the right wing, which is represented in the rejection and has always been against the poor and most needy. That is why I vote for the approval.
We'll take a short break now. Join us again after this. Welcome back to From the South. Prices in British shop rose at the highest rate since at least 2005 this month, as Britain's battle turning costs on everything from gasoline to crisps. The British Retail Consortium said shop prices inflation accelerated to 5.1% in August, a new record from the index, which was started in 2005 and up from 4.4% in July. Food prices increased hit 9.3% with meal, margarine, and crisps in the biggest rises. This level of food inflation could continue for at least another 6 months, according to the movement of non-aligned countries. UNMAL celebrates its 61st anniversary. The UNMAL is a group of states founded in 1961 during the Cold War in the context of the global geopolitical and ideological conflict of the second half of the 20th century. The movement held its first conference summit in Belgrade in the former Yugoslavia, attended by 29 countries that identified themselves with the opposition to colonialism. Currently, the movement has 120 members, 16 observer states, 9 observer organizations, and deals with a variety of issues on the multilateral agenda. Local authorities report that 3 people were killed in the city of Energoda after a new aggression by the Ukrainian armed forces near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. According to the report, the shelling resulted in 1 wounded and 2 that got their set on fire. In addition, the head of the city administration, Alexander Bulgar, informed that the Ukrainian detachment landed on the outskirts in Durga, located in the left bank of Dnipro. The team dispatched by the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United Nations nuclear watchdog, has passed through the Vasiliki checkpoint on Thursday to inspect the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, Europe's largest nuclear facility. The IAEA mission, headed by the agency's chief, Rafael Grossi, is comprising of experts from 10 countries except Russia and Ukraine. The team will need a few days to carry out a mission, which includes taking to power plant staff. The International Atomic Energy Agency is also planning to establish a permanent presence at the site. The Russian Defense Minister said in a statement that Ukrainian treasury shelled the premises of the Zaporizhzhia power plant and the surrounding a Silica village with 4 children, 6 uploading, and a distance of 400 meters from the power unit number 1 of the plant. The Russian government reiterates that it will not send oil to countries that adhere to the initiative to establish a cap on oil market prices. Russian Deputy Minister Alexander Novak said on Thursday that Russia will not work under no-market conditions and that the initiative to set a maximum prices for Russian crude oil will not prosper. Earlier, the president of the Russian Central Bank, Elvira Nabiullina, had announced that Moscow will not supply oil and oil derivatives to those who adhere to this imposition, and instead it will establish mechanisms to reallocate its production to other markets that are willing to cooperate properly. The official added that the application of artificial tops will lead to a sharp rise in prices and a serious imbalance in the world economy. teleSUR will dedicate its coverage of the Football World Cup Qatar 2022 to the figure of Diego Armando Maradona, who accompanied our crew in the last 2 World Cups. With a football star, we also toured our continent with a show, the Zurda Viajero. We want this tribute to have its own music. With that in mind, we invite you to write and compose a song for teleSUR coverage of our Qatar 2022 Football World Cup. It must be an original song, never recorded before or published in any media and free of legal attachment. Record a song in any format, WAV, MP3, even with your cell phone, and send it as an attachment to comunicaciones@telesurtv.net with the following information: author's name, nationality, and name of the song. The closing data of the call for entries is September 10th, 2022. A jury of prestigious musicians and composers from the region will select the winning prizes. The prize will be the recording of the song, a video clip, and a wide diffusion of the work. One after the closing of the call, teleSUR will announce the results. We have more news coming up after this financial break, so don't go away. Welcome back. The Caribbean Community CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett said on Thursday that there is a need to strengthen and streamline the infrastructure to support trade between Africa and CARICOM. The statement was made at the opening of the first Africa-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum in Bridgetown, Barbados. In her opening remarks, Barnett described the event as an important first step that will build bilateral cooperation and promote trade investment, technology transfer, innovation, tourism, culture, and other services. The CARICOM Secretary General stressed that the market represented by the African Continental Free Trade Arrangement is set to reach $6.7 trillion in value by 2035. He emphasized that merchandise traded within the CARICOM single market stood at $2.2 billion in 2019, and with advises steps taken recently to reduce non-tariff barriers, especially in agriculture, the organization expects further growth in the period ahead.
At CARICOM are determined to advance our single market and extend our trade and investment arrangements to drive trade and economic growth, and look forward to further deepening of our partnerships with our friends, neighbors, brothers and sisters in Africa.
Kenyan Supreme Court could nullify the presidential elections after ordering the recount of votes cast at 15 polling stations in the August elections. The order was issued by the judiciary after they indicated that there were alleged irregularities in the results. For his part, President-elect William Ruto asked the court that nullifying the elections results will set a dangerous precedent for the national politics. The Supreme Court annulled President Uhuru Kenyatta's victory in 2017 from irregularities and ordered a rerun elections after the Raul Ondiga challenges his victory. A library for women has been opened in Kabul, Afghanistan, offering free books and a safe place for them to read, discuss, and study in an effort to push back against the education inequality in the country. The founders of the Sun Library, Soulia Parsid and Lila Basim, said they opened the institution in an attempt to empower women through education despite increasing the restrictions on female schooling. The Taliban had announced in March that they will close the secondary school for girls from the 7th to the 12th grade. The Sun Library's long-term plan includes having authors and poets offering free classes for the impoverishing girls who spend their days polishing foods and selling small items in the streets. The founders of the library said they want to show the resistance of women by the other means, which is this library for women.
Unfortunately, the Taliban has removed women from all social activities, civic jobs. They could have let schools for girls remain open. They haven't answered any of our questions. So we want to show the resistance of women by other means, which is this library for women. When we protested for girls' schools last time, August 13, we were threatened and chased by the Taliban. They beat most of the girls. We thought if girls cannot go to school, we should have a kind of place for them to read and study.
Guinea's ruling junta has told a Confederation of African Football Mission, CAF, that it will meet at the timetable for staging the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. The football entity sent a team to the West African nation to assess its process for hosting the tournament. Colonel Mari Doumbouya, who appointed himself president after taking power in a coup in September 2021, met with the scrutineers on Wednesday. The CAF team held out the possibility of postponing the tournament until 2026 or 2027. However, Doumbouya said his government had made a sport event a national priority to held in 2025. Hosting Africa's biggest sporting event is a major challenge for Guinea, which suffers a chronic lack of sporting and transport infrastructure and has a long history of political turbulence. Guinea has originally scheduled to stage the Africa Cup of Nations in 2023, but it was pushed back by 2 years when the list of organizing nations was reshuffled in 2018. The 2023 event will be hosted by the Ivory Coast. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, there are still some 244 million children out of school in the world, a lower figure than 20 years ago, but still a cause for concern. Of the 244 million children from 6 to 8 years of age out of school, more than 40% live in Sub-Saharan Africa, especially in Nigeria, Ethiopia, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Kenya, according to the UNESCO. Although the situation has improved compared to the years 2000, this score is now characterized by regional disparity, with Africa being the most affected region. In the words of the Secretary General of the Paris-based organization, no one can accept this situation. Education is a right, and we must do everything possible to ensure that all children are respected. teleSUR English continues to grow. Its signal now reaches Europe, and you can order it from a cable dealer or tune it yourself. These parameters that you see on the screen are in place since July 1st, and quite soon, further changes will be implemented for the signal in the Middle East and Africa. Now, more than ever, the world connect to us and our stories are all around the globe. This multi-platform will continue to provide and trustful content to oppose the Japanese media's narrative and our faithfulness to our audience. And with that story, we have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Dan, and Instagram as well. And now you can also follow us on our TikTok account as Telesur English, in which you will be able to see news in different formats and news updates and more. Telesur English, I'm from the south of Manamarrero, and thank you for watching.